Hello, friends. I welcome you all to our today's discussion on multiple choice questions, 2 marks questions, and case studies pertaining to our subject ABM. आज के डिस्कशन में मैं आप सभी का स्वागत करता हूं और आपसे रिक्वेस्ट करता हूं कि एक बार आप आपका ऑडियो और वीडियो चेक कीजिए ताकि आपको कोई दिक्कत ना हो। साइमल्टेनियसली ड्यूरिंग डिस्कशन अगर आपको कोई क्वेरी हो, आपका कोई क्वेश्चन हो, तो प्लीज मेक द यूज ऑफ कमेंट बॉक्स so that we can resolve your query. With this, let us start for the first question. So our first question is regarding impact of doubling sample size on standard error. So what is the question? The standard error of the mean from a sample of size 49 is found to be 5. What would be the new standard error if the sample size is increased to 196? So what is the question? एक 49 सैंपल साइज का जो स्टैंडर्ड एरर है, स्टैंडर्ड एरर ऑफ मीन जो है वो 5 है. दैट इज स्टैंडर्ड एरर ऑफ द एवरेज ऑफ ए सैंपल साइज ऑफ 49 इज 5. सो अगर if the sample size is increased from 49 to 196, अगर सैंपल साइज हम 49 से अगर 196 तक बढ़ाते हैं तो हमारा न्यू स्टैंडर्ड एरर क्या होगा? What will be our new standard error? So we will go step by step. Please try to understand it. So standard error is proportionately to 1 divided by square root of n. So in this case, what is the standard error? It is 5. What is n1? n1 is equal to 49. So what is the ratio? And what for AC2? What AC2? We have to find out the standard error for sample size of 196. So where n is, so now simple calculation is here. When my sample size is 49, my standard error is 5. When my sample size is 196, what will be my new standard error? So we have to find out the proportionate for that. That is square root of 1. What is the formula for this? Standard error is proportionate to 1 divided by square root of n, where standard error is, in first case it is 5. In second case we have to find out. In first case number is 49, that is sample size is 49, and in second case sample size is 196. So what will be the formula? That is square root of 196 divided by square root of 14. So how much it comes? Square root of 196 is 14. 196 is the square of 14. So square root of 196 is 14 and square root of 49 is 7. So 14 divided by 2 will be the proportion. So if it is in double to that of, then in that case, so new sample standard error will be, what is in case of 49? In case of 49 it was 5. So 5 divided by 2 is equal to 2.5 will be the new standard error. Very simple to calculate. So B is the correct answer for this question. Very easy to calculate. Only the thing, you have to remember this formula. Standard error is proportionate to 1 divided by square root of n. बस अगर आपको ये formula मालूम है, then there will not be any issue on calculation of this. Now we will go to next question. Next question is for probability for non-normal population. So the question is on probability. So a population, this is very important one. Population means group. A population is positively skewed with a mean of 90. Population का mean कितना है? 90. And a standard deviation of population is 15. यहाँ हमें दो चीज उन्होंने दे दी है. पॉपुलेशन का मीन है 90, पॉपुलेशन का स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन है 15. So what is the probability that the sample mean from 50 observations is greater than 93? तो कितनी प्रोबेबली हो सकती है कि जब सैंपल मीन हमारा सैंपल मीन फ्रॉम 50 ऑब्जर्वेशन, जब मैं 50 ऑब्जर्वेशंस का सैंपल ले लूँ तब मेरा मीन जो है वो 93 से ज़्यादा होगा. सो व्हाट इज द सॉल्यूशन? टू एस्टिमेट द प्रोबेबिलिटी, यहाँ हमें प्रोबेबिलिटी फाइंड आउट करना है. क्वेश्चन इज दैट व्हाट इज द प्रोबेबिलिटी, प्रोबेबिलिटी कितनी हो सकती है. प्रोबेबिलिटी फाइंड आउट करने के लिए टू एस्टिमेट द प्रोबेबिलिटी वी विल यूज द सेंट्रल लिमिट थ्योरम. एक ये चीज हमें ध्यान में रखना पड़ेगा, इसको एक बार समझना पड़ेगा. टू एस्टिमेट द प्रोबेबिलिटी वी विल यूज द सेंट्रल लिमिट थ्योरम. वी सेज दैट सेंट्रल लिमिट थ्योरम क्या कह रहा है? The sampling distribution of the sample mean approaches normality even for a skewed population as the sample size increases. So when the mean number is greater than 30, it is generally sufficient. Very simple definition. अभी in this data, ये जो डाटा हमें उन्होंने प्रोवाइड किया है, what is the population mean? What is the population mean? That is, we call it as a mu. What is mu? It is 90. Population mean is 90. It is given in the question itself. Population standard deviation, how much it is? It is 15. That is sigma. Sample size is 50. N is equal to 50. So what is the sample size that is given? N is equal to 50. And sample mean for threshold. Sample mean threshold कितना है? कम से कम कितना होना चाहिए? 93. So that is the sample mean threshold. So हमें क्या चाहिए? Probability ढूंढनी है. Probability क्या है? P is the probability. X is our assumption. X should be more than 93. That we have to find it out. So what we are trying to trace? We are trying to trace that P is equal to probability is more than 93. अभी इसके लिए सबसे पहले हमें क्या काउंट करना पड़ेगा? We have to calculate the standard error of mean. How will we calculate the standard error of mean? Standard error of mean is equal to population standard deviation divided by square root of n, that is number. So we got both the numbers. What is this sigma? This is standard, so population standard deviation, how much it is? It is 15. So 15 divided by square root of 50. Square root of 50 is how much? It is 7.07. So 15 divided by 7.07 is equal to 2.12. So what is the standard error of mean? Standard error of mean in this case is 2.12. It is very important. This is the first step we have to calculate in this. Now we have to compute the, when the probability is more than 93, we have to compute the Z score for X is equal to 93. पहले हमें X 93 का स्कोर निकालना पड़ेगा. How shall we calculate it? We can calculate it like that. Z is equal to, what is the probability score? Z is equal to X minus mu divided by standard error. That is 93 minus 90. What is 90? Population mean. So 93 minus 90 divided by standard error. Standard error कितना है? Standard error we have to calculate as 2.12. So 93 minus 90, that is 3. 3 divided by 2.12 is equal to 1.42. So what is this? This is Z score for X is equal to 93. What is our score? It will be Z score for X93 will be 1.43. Z score when the probability is greater than 93, our score will be 1.42. Now we have to find out our ultimate answer. What is the probability when X is greater than 93? So when P is equal to X is greater than 93, it is equal to P is equal to z is greater than 1.42। तो जब z हमारा 1.42 से बड़ा हो जाएगा, अल्टीमेटली हमारी प्रोबेबिलिटी भी 93 से ऊपर चली जाएगी। So using z is equal to 1.42 in the standard normal table. So p z is greater than 142 is equal to 1 minus p less than 1 z less than 1.42 is equal to p minus 0.9222. So what is the correct answer? 0.078 will be the correct answer. So 0.0778 will be the correct answer for this question. Third case, probability of exceeding a threshold proportion. What is the probability of exceeding a threshold proportion? In a manufacturing process, 4% bolts produced are defective. If 500 bolts are selected at random, then what is the probability that more than 30 bolts are defective? So normal manufacturing process में क्या हो जाता है, जो परसेंटेज ऑफ बोल्ट्स डिफेक्टिव बोल्ट्स का प्रोडक्शन का जो है वो 4% है। लेकिन अगर रैंडमली 500 बोल्ट हम उठाते हैं फॉर द पर्पज ऑफ चेकिंग, या उसमें डिफेक्ट है या नहीं है चेक करने के लिए जब उठा लेंगे, सिलेक्ट करेंगे, तो 30 से ज़्यादा बोल्ट्स डिफेक्टिव होने की प्रोबेबिलिटी कितनी है ये हमें ढूंढना है। तो एज यूजुअल दिस प्रॉब्लम इन्वॉल्व्स ए बिनोमियल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन। व्हाट इज दिस? दिस प्रॉब्लम इन्वॉल्व्स ए बिनोमियल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन। प्लीज ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस theory also. So this problem involves the binomial distribution, since each bolt has a fixed probability of being defective, that is 4%, क्योंकि हर एक बोल्ट को डिफेक्टिव होने की प्रोबेबिलिटी हो सकती है, but because the number of trial is 500 is large and the probability of defect is p is equal to 0.04, that is 4% is small, we can use the normal approximation to the binomial distribution for simplicity. यहाँ क्या स्टेट है कि यहाँ नंबर ऑफ ट्रायल्स इज वेरी लार्ज, 500 बोल्ट्स हम चेक करेंगे एंड प्रोबेबिलिटी इज वेरी लो, p is equal to 0.04 because it is only 4%. सो इसीलिए इन दिस सर्कमस्टांसेस में हम बिनोमियल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन पे नहीं जाएंगे, वी विल गो फॉर द नॉर्मल अप्रोक्सीमेशन। जैसे हम बाकी अभी तक जो प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व किए हैं, वी विल गो विद द सेम फॉर्मूला। सो यह प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ डिफेक्ट कितनी है? Probability of defect is 0.04, that is 4%, for which we can call it as a P. Number of trials कितने हैं? 500. So N कितना हमारा होगा? N will be 500. Mean कितना होगा? Mu कितना होगा? Mean is equal to N into P. N is 500. 500 की प्रोबेबिलिटी कितनी है? नॉर्मल प्रोबेबिलिटी कितनी है? 0.04 या 4%। तो नॉर्मल सर्कमस्टांसेस में कितने होने चाहिए? 20 बोल्ट हमारे डिफेक्टिव होने चाहिए। दैट शुड बी द मीन एवरेज। नाउ व्हाट इज द डेफिनेशन ऑफ स्टैंडर्ड डेफिनेशन? स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन ऑफ पॉपुलेशन। उसके डेफिनेशन क्या है? उसका फॉर्मूला क्या है? स्क्वायर रूट ऑफ n इंटू पी इंटू 1 माइनस पी। सो यहाँ n कितना है? n इज इक्वल टू 500. So 500 is our n into what is the probability? That is 4%. 4% means 0.04. So it is 0.04 and into 1 minus p. What is p? P is equal to 0.04. So 1 minus p is equal to 0.96. So we have to find out the multiplication of these three. So 500 into 0.04 into 0.96, the answer is 19.2. If you want to check, you can check the calculation, but we have to take the square root of that. So square root of 19.2 is 4.38. So what is my standard deviation? Standard deviation is 4.38. सो ये एक हमें ध्यान में रखना पड़ेगा. Now we have to go to next step. What is the next step? When probability when x is more than 30 and हमें continuity correction method करना पड़ेगा. So here because it is x probability is more than the 30 volts, we will take the base as 30.5. We will try to find out the how much will be for 30.5. So if then we have to convert it into Z score. So what is confidence level? What is the Z score? Z score is equal to x minus mu. What is the mu? What that is mean divided by sigma. So what is the sigma? Sigma is standard deviation. Now it is clear to you. Sigma is standard deviation. So Z is equal to 30.5. जैसे मैंने आपको बताया when it is 30 we will take it as 30.5. So 30.5 minus n. What will be the minus mean mu, that is 20, divided by standard deviation, that is 4.38. So 30.5 minus 20 is equal to 10.5 divided by 4.38. So answer comes to 2.40. If you wish, you can check this calculation. Now we have to find out that P less than Z is less than 240 as per standard normal distribution table. This is 0.9918. So P when x is greater than 30.5 is equal to 1 minus P into less than 2.40. So 1 minus 99918 is equal to what will be the probability of more than 30? 0.082. It means 82% will be my 82% will be my probability that more than 30 volts are defective when we do the sample checking of a random checking of 500 volts. So this is the answer for our question. Next question. Now we will go for consumer satisfaction study. A survey of 150 customers, 97 reported being satisfied with a new packaging style. Construct 90% confidence interval. वेरी सिंपल क्वेश्चन. इस तरह के क्वेश्चन हमने काफ़ी सॉल्व भी किए हुए. क्या केस है? हमने 150 कस्टमर्स का सर्वे किया. उसमें जो हमारा न्यू पैकेजिंग स्टाइल है, न्यू पैकेजिंग है, उसमें 97 लोगों ने सेटिस्फैक्शन दिखा दिया या वो सेटिस्फाइड हो गए. 97 आर आवर सेटिस्फाइड कस्टमर्स. नाउ वी हैव टू कंस्ट्रक्ट 90% कॉन्फिडेंस इंटरवल. हमें 90% कॉन्फिडेंस इंटरवल करना है. So what are the probabilities? There's 4 probabilities they have given. So firstly we have to find out the P bar. What will be the P bar? So how much percentage will be the 97 of 150 or how many customers have given satisfaction out of the total customers? So 97 divided by 150 means 0.647, or we can say that 64.7% had shown their satisfaction for the new packaging style. When 64.7% has shown or 0.647 customers have shown this satisfaction, it means remaining customers have not shown their satisfaction for a new packaging style. We call it as a Q bar. Q bar is equal to 1 minus P bar, that is 1 minus 0.647. So my Q bar will be 0.353. So what will be my Q bar? Q bar will be 0.353. Now we wish to calculate the standard error, because when we have to calculate the confidence level, we should know the standard error. So standard error is equal to square root of P bar into Q bar divided by total number, that is n. So what is my P bar or P hat? That is 0.67 into Q bar. Q bar is 0.353 divided by 150t, and everything will be under the square root. So if you do the calculation, 0.0647 into 0.353, the calculation comes that divided by 150. So the final answer will be square root of 001523. This is the answer, and the square, what is the square root of 1523 is equal to 0.039, or indirectly I can say that the 0.039 square is equal to 001523. If you want to check, you can check the calculations also. Now we have to calculate the 90% confidence interval. So Z score at 90% level is 1.645 as per the standard table. So now we know what is the Z score. We know standard error. So we have to find out the intervals. इंटरवल्स फाइंड आउट करने के लिए हमें लोअर लेवल कॉन्फिडेंस इंटरवल फाइंड आउट करना पड़ेगा, या लोअर कॉन्फिडेंस लेवल फाइंड आउट करना पड़ेगा, अपर कॉन्फिडेंस लेवल फाइंड आउट करना पड़ेगा. हाउ विल वी डू दैट? So when this is the 647, 0.647 plus or minus 1.645. So 0.647 minus, because this much percentage of the people have accepted it. So for 90% level, 0.647 minus 1.645, that is the Z score, into standard error. So 1.645 into 0039, if you deduct it from 0.647, so the answer will be 0.583. What is this amount? 1.645 into 0.039. So this is 0.064. So if you deduct from 0.64 into minus 0.0641, which comes to 583, and if you add 0.647 plus 1.645 into 0.039 is 0.0641. So if we add 0.0641 into this, the answer will be 0.719. So what is the interval? That is, if we convert it into percentage, it will fall in the range of 58.3% to 70.9%. And from our answer point of view, C is the correct answer, 0.583 and 0.709. So C is the correct answer for our question. Next question. Estimating product quality consistency. A manufacturing firm tracks the weight of a pharmaceutical tablet. तो उन्होंने फार्मास्यूटिकल टैबलेट जो प्रोडक्ट प्रोड्यूस करते हैं, एक टैबलेट का वेट को वो ट्रैक कर रहे थे. The population variance, this is very important. Population variance is known to be 250 mg square. What is the population variance? 250 mg square. A sample of 100 tablets shows an average weight of 453 mg. उन्होंने 100 टैबलेट्स का जब सैंपल किया, चेक किया, तो एवरेज वेट कितना आ गया उसका? 453 mg. So estimate the standard error of mean and provide a 90% confidence interval, as same as that of the previous unit. So पहले हमें ये देखना पड़ेगा what is the population variance. Population variance is equal to 250 mg square. So what is the sample size? They have taken the sample of 100 tablets. So N is equal to sample tablets. Then next, what is the mean and average weight? Mean means average weight of 100 tablets is 453 mg. So what is the sample mean? They have given the ready-made answer for this. The sample mean for 100 sample tablets is the 453 mg. We have to find out at confidence level 90. So confidence level 90 is equal to, what is the value of confidence level 90? 1.645. They have taken it from the regular standard table for this. Now for that purpose, when we have to calculate, they have advised us to calculate the standard error of mean first. So firstly, we have to calculate the standard error. Standard error, how will we calculate? That is nothing but the square root of population variance, because square root of population variance divided by n means number. So what is the meaning of how much is the population variance? Population variance is 250 and divided by how many sample tablets they have taken? They have taken 100 sample of 100 tablets. So 250 divided by 100, with that we have to take it into square root. So square root of 250 divided by 100 is equal to 1.58 will be the answer. Please check the calculation if required. I am again telling you, standard error is equal to square root of population variance divided by sample number. So population variance is 250 divided by the sample number is 100, that is in square root. So square root of 250 divided by 100 is equal to 1.58. So how much is my standard error? It is 1.58. Now we have to calculate the provide at 90% confidence interval. So in case of 90% confidence interval, they have given us from the tablet the value is 1.645. So how shall we calculate the confidence interval? We can calculate the confidence interval by way of average weight, that is mean plus and minus in both the cases 1.645, that is Z into standard error. So this formula again you have to keep it in mind. So what is Z minus Z into mean sample mean? So if you do the multiplication of this, you will get the correct answer for this. So 1.645 into 1.58 is equal to 2.59. So this will be the this for lower level. How will you calculate? 450 minus 2.59, that is 451.41, and for plus you have to add it. So 453 plus 2.59, so answer will be 455.59. So what is the range or what is the interval? 450.41 to 455.59. So 450.44 to 455.59, and standard error is 1.58. So D is the correct answer for our question. Next question. Electrical safety audit duration. An engineer audits household of electrical safety known as population standard deviation is 5.7 hours. जब उन्होंने इलेक्ट्रिकल सेफ्टी का हाउस होल्ड्स का इलेक्ट्रिकल सेफ्टी ऑडिट कर दिया, तब उन्होंने पॉपुलेशन का जनरल स्टैंडर्ड वेरिएशन कितना आ गया? 5.7 आवर्स. पॉपुलेशन स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन इज 5.7 आवर्स. सैंपल कितना था? 36 ऑडिट. ए सैंपल ऑफ 36 ऑडिट यील्ड्स मीन टाइम कितना है? मीन टाइम एवरेज टाइम इज 41.2 आवर्स. सो यहाँ हमें तीन चीज़ें उन्होंने दे दी हैं. Standard deviation is 5.7 hours. Then sample, that is N, is equal to 36 hours, and mean time is, or average time is 41.2 hours. What we have to calculate? We have to calculate the standard error. and we have to calculate the interval estimate using one standard error. That is, we will use this standard error and then we will go for the interval estimates. So first, if we have to calculate the standard error, what is the formula for standard error? So standard error is equal to sigma, or you can say that the population standard deviation divided by square root of number of samples. So what is my population standard deviation? Population standard deviation is 5.7 divided by square root of number of samples. Number of samples कितने हैं? 36. So what is the square root of 36? The square root of 36 is 6, or we can say that 6 square is equal to 36. So 5.7 divided by 6 is equal to 0.95. So 0.95 is my standard error. So you have to keep this in mind. Keep this thing in mind, and that is answer for your first question. But in all the 4 questions they have given the same standard error, so it is of no use of us for finding out the correct answer. Now as per the method, now my standard error is 0.95. Now I have to calculate the interval. So for interval, I am having a mean. I'm having a mean time is available with me. What is the mean time? 41.2 hours is the mean time. So mean time plus or minus standard error, then I will be able to find out the interval. As usual, for lower level, what we have to do? Mean minus 0.95, that is standard error, so is equal to 40.25. Check the calculation. And in case of upper level, we have to add it. So 41.2 plus 0.95, that is 42.15 will be my answer. So what will be my range? 40.25 to 42.15 will be my range, and my standard error is 0.95. So A is the correct answer for our. So A is the correct answer, not C. Why 42.20? This answer is not correct because my correct answer is A, 40.25, and 42.15 is my correct answer. So please what is my correct answer? A is my correct answer for this question. Next question. लेकिन बिफोर गोइंग फॉर नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, मैंने आपके लिए एक मैसेज लाया है. फॉर दो स्टूडेंट्स हु आर अपियरिंग फॉर CAIIB, JAIIB एंड वेरियस प्रमोशनल एग्जाम्स, उनके लिए वी हैव ब्रॉट और वी आर प्रोवाइडिंग बेस्ट क्वालिटी रिकॉर्डेड वीडियो लेसन्स, PDF question banks, case studies videos, and we are conducting interactive live classes. And all these facilities are available at a very low price. So मेरी आपसे रिक्वेस्ट है कि अगर आप इसमें से किसी का बेनिफिट लेना चाहते हो तो प्लीज़ विजिट आवर nstoor ताकि वहाँ आपको डिटेल इंफॉर्मेशन मिल जाएगी. मेरी आपसे रिक्वेस्ट है, आपके साथ साथ यही मैसेज आप आपके फ्रेंड्स एंड कलीग्स को भी कन्वे कीजिए जो अलग अलग एग्जाम्स को अपियर कर रहे हैं, ताकि अगर वो चाहते तो वो भी इसका बेनिफिट ले सकेंगे, वो भी आपके साथ साथ अच्छे मार्क्स स्कोर कर सकेंगे. जैसे आपको अवगत है, वी आर इन दिस लाइन ऑफ एक्टिविटी और वी आर इन दिस प्रोफेशन फॉर मोर देन लास्ट 30 years. And we are providing various types of guidance to the students who are appearing for the banking examinations like CAIIB, JAIIB or promotional examinations. And more than 10 lakh students have got the benefit from the information for the material that has been provided for us. So if you wish, you can take the benefit of this, and I wish you all the best for your coming examination. Now let us go for our next question. मैन्युफैक्चरिंग डिफेक्ट रेट के ऊपर एक केस स्टडी है। वहाँ उन्होंने हमें मीन दिया हुआ है। व्हाट इज द मीन? 6.3 डिफेक्ट्स। n इज इक्वल टू नंबर इज इक्वल टू 36। देन what is the sigma square? It is population variance. It is not, it is variance. Population variance is 4.41. So when the population variance is 4.41, standard deviation will be square root, that is 2.1. What is the standard deviation? 2.1. Please hold on. So what is the deviation is 4.41, and what is the standard deviation is 2.1. We got ready-made answer for standard deviation. Now we have to find out the at interval A at 65% confidence. From the table they have given us the figure that is Z is equal to 0.93, and interval B at 98.1% confidence level Z is equal to 2.36. Now we got all the basic information now. Now let us do the calculation. So what is the standard error? Standard error is equal to deviation, population deviation divided by square root of n. That formula we have already studied in the previous slide. So what is the deviation? Deviation is population standard deviation is 2.1 divided by square root of 36, that is 6. So 2.1 divided by 6 is equal to 0.25, 0.35. So what is my standard error? My standard error is 3.5. For interval A at 65%, what is the Z? Z is equal to 0.93. So how shall I calculate now margin of error now? Margin of error is equal to Z into standard error. So what is my Z at 0.65? Z at 0.65 is 0.93. So 0.93 into 0.35. So my correct answer will be 0.325. When my correct answer is 0.325, now I have to calculate the confidence interval when at 65%. So how will I do this? So what is my mean? What is my population mean? 6.3 plus minus confidence level. So 6.3 minus 0.325 is for lower level, that is 5.975. 6.3 plus 0.325 is equal to 6.625, that is for upper level. So my for 65% interval capacity confidence, my 65% confidence interval, it will be interval level fall or interval range will be between 5.98 and 6.63. Now we are coming to the next confidence level, that is 98.1%, where the value of Z is 2.36. So यहाँ मैं here I will try to calculate the margin of error, that is 2.36. This will be the same. What is 2.36? 2.36 is my 2.36 is my what we are doing. 2.36 is my Z at confidence level of 98.1%. So Z into margin of error. So for my Z into what is my Z? 2.36 into 0.35, that is my standard error. So 2.36 into standard error. What is this? This is 0.35. So Z into 0.35 is equal to 0.826. So how will I calculate it now? So what is the mean, population mean? This will remain the same, 6.3 plus or minus 0.826. So as usual for lower level, 6.3 minus 0.826 is equal to 5.474, and 6.3 for upper level, 6.3 plus 0.826 is equal to 7.126. Is equal to 7.26. So at 98.1% confidence level, the interval will be between 5.47 and 7.13, because 7.126 means 7.13. So B is the correct answer for our question. Now let us go for the next question. A metallurgical lab tests the tensile strength in kilowatt-tons of 12 alloy rods. The values recorded are, जो 12 alloy rods जो है उनकी values क्या क्या है, 7.4, 7.9, 8.1, 8.3, 8, 7.8 and so on and so on. So on and so on. What we have to calculate? एक तो हमें पॉपुलेशन मीन कैलकुलेट करना है एंड पॉपुलेशन वेरिएंस कैलकुलेट करना है. सो मीन कैसे हम कैलकुलेट करेंगे? मीन इज इक्वल टू नंबर ऑफ रॉड्स कितने हैं, 12 रॉड्स दिए हुए हैं. पर रॉड का वेट उन्होंने दिया हुआ है, टेंसिल स्ट्रेंथ जो है वो हर एक रॉड की दे दी है, दैट इज मेंशन हियर, दैट इज वैल्यू, दैट वैल्यू इज मेंशन हियर. Now here you have to calculate the mean. How will you calculate the mean? For mean, we have to take the total of this. So what is the total of all the 12 units? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. So total of 12 units total is 94.5. So total of this column is 94.5. 94.5 is the total of this. So 94.5 divided by 12 is equal to 7.87 will be the mean for this. So population mean is equal to 7.87. So B should be my correct answer. Now even if I don't go for variance, I can reply it in the question paper, because 7.87 is coming only at B. For A it is 7.91, for C it is 7.85 and for D it is 7.89. So my correct answer should be B. But now let us go for variance also. Now I have to calculate the variance. So for sample variance, what is the formula? Square deviation from mean is equal to x minus 7.87 square. See, this is the square deviation. X minus 7.87. How from where that 7.87 figure comes? 7.87 is nothing but the mean, that is the answer what we have derived here. So 7.4 minus 7.87 is equal to minus 47. 7.9 minus 7.87 is equal to 0.03. So likewise they have calculated x minus means in all these 12 rows, and they have taken the square of all these 12 items individually. So see, all these figures are reflected in plus, because whether the base number is minus or plus, we are doing the square of that particular number. Though it is minor, the answer will be plus. So this is the all numbers are plus numbers, and total of x minus mean, that is x minus 7.87 square, is total is coming to 0.0674. What is the total? 0.0674 is the total of all these things. So total is 0.674. Now we have to calculate the population variance. How will you calculate? So 1 into sum of x minus x bar square, that is 0.674. So 1 into 674 divided by how many number of samples are there? 12. So 12 minus 1, that is 11. So 6.674 divided by 11 is equal to 0.061. So what is the variance? Variance will be 0.061. So my B will be the correct answer. Now let us go for the next question. Which class interval has the maximum frequency based on the inclusive class intervals? इंक्लूसिव क्लास इंटरवल्स के बेसिस पे कौन से क्लास इंटरवल्स या जो अलग अलग क्लास इंटरवल्स उन्होंने दिए हुए हैं कौन से क्लास इंटरवल्स में ज़्यादा फ्रीक्वेंसी है? What frequencies they have given? 15 to 20, 2, 20 to 25, 1, 25 to 33, 30 to 35, 2, 35 to 43, 40 to 45, 6, 45 to 54, 50 to 55, 3 and 55 to 64. So इसमें मैक्सिमम फ्रीक्वेंसी कौन से क्लास में है? 40 to 45 इस रेंज में सबसे ज़्यादा फ्रीक्वेंसी है. So this is our answer. Very simple. So 40 to 45 is the interval where frequency, that is 6, is the highest. So our correct answer is C for this question. Next question. A sample of size 25. Sample कितना दिया हुआ है? Sample size n. A sample of size 25 drawn from an infinite population. Infinite population में से 25 लोगों का sample size select किया गया है. A standard error of the mean is computed as 4. Standard error of mean कितना आ गया? 4 आ गया. So what is the population standard deviation? Population standard deviation हमें ढूंढना है, सिग्मा ढूंढना है. So what is the formula for standard error? Standard error हमने already देखा हुआ है. Standard error is equal to sigma divided by square root of n. That is the standard deviation divided by square root of n. So in this case, for me, standard error is already given as 4. So standard error is given as 4. N is given as 25. So square root of n is equal to 5. Square root of n is equal to 5. I have to find out. So how shall I find it out? Standard error. So standard error is equal to sigma divided by n. So if I want to find out this, what I have to do? Standard error multiply by square root of n. So what is the standard error here? Standard error is 4. Square root of n is 5. So my answer will be 4 into 5, 20. So C is the correct answer for me. So मेरी आपसे रिक्वेस्ट है कि ये सभी फॉर्मूलाज आप समझने की कोशिश कीजिए, क्योंकि अगर आपको ये बेसिक फॉर्मूलेज पता चल जाएंगे, यू विल बी एबल टू रिप्लाई इट कंफर्टेबली. सो नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. Variability reduction in sample means. Population has mean 600 and standard deviation is 120. हमें दो चीज उन्होंने दी हुई है. एक तो मीन दिया हुआ है 600, स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन दे दी है 120. What is the ratio of standard deviation of the population to the standard deviation of the sampling distribution of mean from sample size of 144? Population has a mean of 600. Population का mean कितना है? 600 है and standard deviation है उनका 120. तो पॉपुलेशन का स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन जो है उसका स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन ऑफ द सैम्पलिंग डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ मीन जो है, जो वहाँ सैंपल साइज जो 144 है उसके साथ क्या रेशो होगा? व्हाट विल बी द रेशो? हमें यहाँ रेशो ढूंढना है. तो स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन ऑफ ए सैम्पलिंग डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन इज इक्वल टू व्हाट इज द स्टैंडर्ड एरर? स्टैंडर्ड एरर इज इक्वल टू standard deviation divided by square root of n. सो यहाँ कितना है, हमें कितना ढूंढना है, स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन ऑफ सैम्पलिंग डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन। तो ये जो सैम्पलिंग डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन है उसका स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन सबसे पहले हमें ढूंढना है। तो सैम्पलिंग डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन का एन कितना है, एन इज 144। तो स्क्वायर रूट ऑफ 144 इज इक्वल टू 12। सो स्टैंडर्ड एरर इज इक्वल टू 120। स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन ऑफ पॉपुलेशन जो है, स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन ऑफ पॉपुलेशन इज 120 डिवाइडेड बाय सैंपल साइज जो 144 है, दैट इज n, square root of n is equal to 12. So my standard error will be 10. When my standard error is 10, so population standard deviation divided by standard error, so 120 is my, already they have given us standard deviation as 120 divided by standard error, that is 10, is equal to 12. So 12 is the ratio. 12 is the ratio among them. So what is the correct answer? 12 is the correct answer for our question. Next question. Two-sided tell probability on defect rate. Let us read the question first. From a shipment of 6 widgets का shipment कर दिया है, historical defect rate is 3%. It means normal defect rate कितना रहता है, 3% है. So what is the probability that the sample contains between 12 and 24 defective items including? So कितनी probability होगी जो सैंपल का 12 से 24 में डिफेक्टिव, हाँ 12 से 24 डिफेक्टिव आइटम्स कितने नंबर ऑफ शिपमेंट्स में वो इंक्लूड करेंगे, इसकी प्रोबेबिलिटी कितनी होगी, दैट इज द इंफॉर्मेशन व्हाट दे वांट. सो दिस इज अ क्लासिक बिनोमियल प्रोबेबिलिटी. ये आपको मैंने पहले भी बोला था, यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस इशू, दिस थ्योरी. This is a classic binomial probability scenario since the sample size is large, that is n is equal to 600, and relatively low defect rate is very low, that is 3% only, that is 0.03. So we can apply the normal approximation to the binomial distribution that I have already discussed with you in previous slides also. Now we will go for calculation. So what is the n here? Number is 600. So n is equal to 600. What is the probability of defect? Defect rate कितना है? 0.03. It means 3%. So what is the mean? Mean कितना होगा? Mean is equal to n into p. What is n? N is 600 here. N is the number 600. What is the probability? Probability is 3%, that is 0.03. So what is the mean in this case? Mean will be 18. So what is the standard deviation? What is the formula for standard deviation? For formula for standard deviation is equal to, in the square root or square root of n, that is the number, into p, that is the probability, into 1 minus p, that is the way in which we can calculate the standard deviation. ये formula हमें ध्यान में रखना पड़ेगा. So square root of, what is the number? 600. What is the probability? 0.03, that is 3%. So what is the 1 minus p? 1, it means 97% of widgets will be good one. So 0.97 is the remaining one. So 600 into 0.03 into 0.97, the answer is coming as, in the square root, 17.46. So what is the square root of 17.46? 4.18, or we can say that square of 4.18 is equal to 17.46. So what is the probability? The probability is 4.18 that sample contains between 12 and 24 defective items inclusive. So that is the standard deviation. Now p is equal to 12. It should be in the range of 12 and 24. So what is P? Probability will be in the range of 12 and 24. So using continuity correction, now we have to go for the calculation of this. हमें अभी continuity correction method apply करना पड़ेगा. So for that purpose, instead of that 12, we will consider it as 12 minus 0.5. So that will be 11.5. And for because it is on lower side, we are deducting it. For 24 it will be on 24.5 because it is on the higher side. So what will be the probability between 11.5 and 24.5? So for lower level, convert to Z score. हमें अभी Z score find out करने के लिए how will we go for this? 11.8 11.5 that is lower level minus mean that is mu that is 18 divided by standard deviation. This is the formula. So ये formula वापस आपको ध्यान में रखना पड़ेगा. Where you have to convert this into Z score. Which formula you have to apply? That is the lower level, that is 11. In case of lower level, that lower level minus mean or mu divided by standard deviation. So 11.5 minus 18 is equal to minus 6.5 divided by 4.18. So it is minus 1.56. And in the same case, what is for upper level? 24.5 minus 18 because this is the mean. So answer will be same, 24.5 minus 18, that is 6.5. Only in first case it is minus, it is second case it is plus. Plus divided by 4.18, so your answer will be plus 1.56. So minus 1.56 and plus 1.56. Now we will find out that Z table. So using the standard normal distribution value, what is the value? For PZ is less than minus 1.6 is 0.0594 and PZ is lesser than 1 plus 1.6 is equal to 0.9406. So then what we have to do now? We have to do it that upper layer, that is 0.9406 minus lower level, that is 0.594, that is 8812, 0.8812. That will be the probability that sample contains 12 and 24 defective items inclusive. So if we convert it into percentage, your answer will be 88.12. So this will be your answer for this question. अभी मैंने आपके लिए एक मैसेज लाया हुआ है कि जैसे मैं आपको बताना चाहता हूँ कि हमने CAIIB के सभी सब्जेक्ट्स के लिए, वेदर इट इज़ ABM, वेदर इट इज़ BFM, वेदर इट इज़ ABFM और BRBM, फॉर ऑल द सब्जेक्ट्स ऑफ CAIIB हमने 10 मॉक टेस्ट क्वेश्चन पेपर्स प्रोवाइड किए हैं. And all these question papers are available on JAIIB-CAIIB-online.com जो हमारी वेबसाइट है वहाँ अवेलेबल है. All these question papers are available for free. They are available online and available for real time practice also. So मेरी आपसे रिक्वेस्ट है, आप इनमें से मैक्सिमम पेपर सॉल्व कर दीजिए ताकि जिसकी वजह से आपका नॉलेज बढ़ेगा, आपका स्पीड बढ़ेगा, आपकी एक्यूरेसी बढ़ेगी, जो आपको एग्जाम में आपका पेपर कंप्लीट करने में हेल्प कर सकती है. अगर आपको तो ये आप अगर कंप्लीट करेंगे एंड बिकॉज दिस पेपर्स आर अवेलेबल फॉर रियल टाइम प्रैक्टिस, जब भी आप पेपर सॉल्व करेंगे आपको आपका प्रिपेयर्डनेस पता चल जाएगा, विच विल बी गुड फॉर यू टू अंडरस्टैंड हाउ मच यू आर प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर द एग्जामिनेशन. मेरी आपसे रिक्वेस्ट है कि ये मैसेज आप आपके फ्रेंड्स एंड कलीग जो एग्ज़ाम को अपियर कर रहे हैं उन्हीं को भी कन्वे कर दीजिए ताकि वो भी इसका बेनिफिट ले सकते हैं. सो अगर आपको आज का डिस्कशन अच्छा लगा होगा तो प्लीज़ शेयर लाइक बटन बिकॉज दैट विल बी अ मोटिवेटिंग फैक्टर फॉर मी ऑल्सो. आपकी यही एक्शन, आपकी यही एक्टिविटी मेरे लिए नए नए वीडियोस बनाने में प्रेरित करती है, प्रोत्साहित भी करती है. अगर आपको आज का डिस्कशन अच्छा लगा होगा तो प्लीज़ शेयर दिस इंफॉर्मेशन विद योर फ्रेंड्स एंड कलीग्स, दोज हु आर अपियरिंग फॉर द एग्जामिनेशन. आपने अगर हमारा चैनल अभी तक सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया होगा तो प्लीज़ आप उसको सब्सक्राइब कीजिए, ताकि आपको सभी नोटिफिकेशंस टाइमली मिल जाएंगे एंड आप कोई भी इम्पोर्टेंट इंफॉर्मेशन मिस आउट नहीं करेंगे. And with this, we will conclude our discussion for a day, and thank you very much.